Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life, the channel that talks all things Wentworth. Now, before we delve in, if this is your first time here, then hit that subscribe button right now for all Wentworth future updates. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at one of my all-time favourite characters, Boomer Jenkins. Now, Boomer, she's made us laugh and she's made us cry, but what are my top 10 favourite Boomer moments? Well, get yourselves comfy and let's take a look at my top 10 favourite Boomer moments. Number 10, Boomer Saves Franky, Season 1, Episode 7. In Season 1, Boomer was more of a background character. She was just Franky's sidekick for when Franky needed muscle, and for good reason too. In the very first episode, we saw Boomer slam some prisoners into the wall during Wentworth's first ever riot. But the moment that made me actually love Boomer in Season 1 was when she saved Franky from Jax and her crew in the gym. Now, Jax was going to have Franky ganged, and it was looking pretty bad for Franky at one point. However, there was a little bit of a twist because Doreen had already told Franky about the planned ganging. So when Jax and her crew had Franky in the gym, Boomer bursts through the door, and just look at her. I can remember cheering when Boomer came bursting through the door, and Boomer literally just throws everyone around like a rag doll. It was bloody brilliant. Number 9, Boomer's Haircut, Season 2, Episode 2. Now, by Season 2, Boomer was made more of a permanent character. I mean, she didn't really come into her own sort of character until Season 3, in my opinion, but in Season 2, she was still, for the most part, Franky's heavy. But there were some brilliant moments for Boomer in Season 2, like the time where Boomer asks B to make her look like this magazine cutout that Boomer had stuck together because the male prisoners from Walford were at Wentworth helping to build the garden project. So during a scene where Doreen, Nash and a load of the men are outside in the garden, Boomer comes down the walkway with her fabulous new hairstyle, and I just loved this moment because Boomer was looking like a little bit shy and a little bit nervous, but she was loving it, and the men were wolf whistling, and even Doreen was like, "Oh Boomer, look at you." It was such a happy feel-good moment because Season 2 Episode 2 was a pretty dark episode. Number 8, Boomer's Backstory Episode, Season 7, Episode 6. Okay, even though Boomer has been with us from the very first episode of Wentworth, it wasn't until Season 7, Episode 6 where we learnt a little bit more of Boomer's backstory when Boomer was granted a day release with her mother, May Jenkins. Now, May Jenkins wasn't exactly a very nice woman. From what we learn in this particular episode, May has had a long-term drink problem, and at one point, when Boomer and May are having a big row in the house, May actually blames Boomer for being an alcoholic, which is just a disgusting thing to say to your daughter. There's a scene where Boomer is in her bedroom and she's looking through her old memory box, and we see moments of Boomer remembering happy moments when she pulls out an old birthday card, and I think it was a concert ticket to see Bananarama. It's interesting to see a bit of a backstory with Boomer, but it was also very, very sad because we learned that May had different boyfriends, meaning that Boomer had a lot of different stepfathers while growing up. But I think the happiest moment for Boomer in this episode is when her mum takes her down to the beach to have an ice cream, and we literally see Boomer daydreaming and listening back to the old days of when her and her sister Trina were children. It's a very bittersweet episode, and you end up spending the whole episode wanting to grab through your TV and give Boomer a massive hug. Number 7, Sonia's My Angel, Season 6, Episode 10. A really random moment now in my next spot, but it's a moment that always sticks in my mind and it always makes me giggle. So Boomer was pretty annoyed with CRAIGz for pushing Sonia off the roof, and after Sonia's death, Sonia's solicitor comes to see Boomer because Sonia had already paid her lawyer to try and form an appeal for Boomer before she died. This of course was fantastic news for Boomer, but also upsetting for her at the same time because obviously Sonia was dead. But when Boomer goes into the dining room to announce to everyone that Sonia is an angel, Boomer ends up calling CRAIGz a shit top dog. She then proceeds to tell everyone to suck it. Oh my god, she puts her middle finger up right in CRAIGz's face and then at the women, and she continues to say suck it. Suck it. I don't know why, but I just love this Boomer moment despite the fact that she's being really rude to CRAIGz. I mean, good old Boomer. Probably one of the very few characters who could be rude to the top dogs and more or less get away with it for the most part. Number 6, Sorry, Not Sorry. CRAIGz was the new top dog in Season 5, but CRAIGz wanted to put one main rule in place. No woman is allowed to harm another woman in the prison, and this included CRAIGz punishing the prisoners. I mean, it sounds nice in principle and in a nice world, but let's face it, this is prison. Anyway, CRAIGz had ordered Tina Mercado to stop dealing in drugs due to a load of drug overdoses in the prison. But Tina wasn't happy to listen to CRAIGz, so later on, CRAIGz finds out where Tina is stashing the drugs and she asks Boomer along. Now CRAIGz wants Boomer just to pretty much hold Tina back and to keep her quiet, while CRAIGz gets rid of the drugs, but Boomer can't resist punching Tina in the guts. And CRAIGz ends up like telling Boomer off like a naughty schoolgirl. And just look at Boomer's face, it's so funny. Anyway, Boomer then says, yeah, I'm sorry, and then whispers to Tina, not sorry. It's just so funny and a typical Boomer moment that I absolutely love. Number 5, Boomer helps Franky escape, Season 5, Episode 12. A classic Boomer moment now in my next spot, and it's the moment where Franky is about to make her escape in the box. But Boomer has twigged on of what Franky is up to, and Boomer follows Franky in the yard and tells her that she can't escape using the boxes because it will shut down the whole project. Franky tells Boomer that she has no other choice, she has to go, and Boomer even threatens to lag. When Franky makes a run for it through the fence, Officer Williams comes out for a smoke break, and Franky ends up hiding around the corner in a little bit of a panic, wondering what Boomer is about to do, because Boomer stands by the fence, and just when you think that she is going to lag on Franky, Boomer actually starts up some small talk with Officer Williams, telling him that she's watering the garden, and then she asks him for a gobby, making Mr. Williams get up out of his chair and towards her, giving Franky the chance to get into the building that she needs to get to. It's such a nice scene. I mean, it's sad at the same time because Boomer and Franky are saying their goodbyes, but it is actually a pretty cool scene. Number 4, you can have some of my titties. This next moment in my spot is a prime example of how Wentworth can make you cry and then laugh all in the same scene, just minutes or even seconds next to each other. So when Maxine tells Boomer that she isn't gonna have the treatment for her cancer, Boomer has a bit of a breakdown and is totally gutted because she doesn't want Maxine to die. But after a little bit of thinking, Maxine ends up deciding that she will have the treatment, and Boomer and Maxine have this amazing moment together in Boomer's cell, and Boomer then tells Maxine that if she can still get new titties, then she can have some of his because she's got heaps. Honestly, I was crying during this scene while they're chatting, then I burst out laughing with the titty line, and then I end up crying again because Maxine and Boomer end up hugging on the bed at the end of this scene. It's just such brilliant writing and fantastic acting. Number 3, Boomer bashes Judy Bryant, Season 8, Part 2, Episode 5. A very satisfying moment now, and it's the moment where Boomer beats the crap out of Judy Bryant after discovering that it was her who stabbed Ali. While Judy is walking down the corridor, Boomer punches Judy clean out in the face and slams her face into the wall. At one point then Judy goes down to the ground, and Boomer then kneels down and grabs Judy by the hair, and she proper lays into her, telling her that she's pretty much destroyed Ali after the attack, and now that Ali isn't the same person anymore, and Judy is the one that's done that. It's so satisfying, and Boomer, she slams Judy's face into the wall for a second time, and eventually Boomer ends up kicking Judy while she's down on the floor over and over again. And I can remember screaming and cheering at my TV when I first saw this scene. Judy definitely deserved everything that Boomer gave her. Number 2, Boomer kills Liz, Season 7, Episode 10. A very sad moment now, and yes, it's the moment when Boomer ends Liz's suffering. This really is a very hard scene to watch without crying, and I'm not surprised that Katrina, who plays Boomer, found this scene very hard to film. So poor Liz had suffered a devastating stroke after the siege, causing Liz to be locked inside her body. There was nothing more that could be done for her apart from make her comfortable, but that is just no life for anyone. So Boomer, she ended up doing the kind thing and ended Liz's suffering when she picked up a pillow and smothered her to death. It was just so sad, especially the moment where Boomer leans down and gives Liz a kiss on the head, because those are genuine tears. That is not acting, that is genuine. And of course we have that loud emotional music playing in the background that literally just rips your heart out and stamps on it. In my opinion, this is an award-winning scene, even though it's very hard to watch. Number 1, I'm Gonna Get Fucked, Season 4, Episode 4. Now, this is literally my all-time favourite Boomer moment in the whole entire show. It's the moment where Boomer is granted permission for her conjugal visit with Daz. And when the visit arrives, Boomer gets very excited. It starts with B doing Boomer's hair, and Linda Miles is there saying, "Come on Jenkins, get moving, your hair's fine." But when Boomer comes out of the cell, all of the women are there to see what Boomer looks like, and they all start cheering and woof whistling. Boomer then puts her arms in the air and shouts out, "Come on bitches!" And then Boomer breaks out into this hilarious dance where she hops and jumps down the unit, and she starts dancing and air humping with one of the women. Boomer then high fives a load of the women and starts shouting, "I'm gonna get fucked, I'm gonna get fucked." Oh god, it's just so brilliant. And what I love as well is when Boomer is hopping down the corridor in excitement, even Linda Miles has a smirk on her face, which just adds to this whole scene. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've watched this particular scene on YouTube when I need cheering up. I literally just love it, and I absolutely love Boomer. And that was my top 10 favourite Boomer moments. So guys, what did you think of my list? Did this list bring back some fond memories for you? Because it really did for me. What was your favourite Boomer moments in the show? Let me know all of your favourite Boomer moments in the comments box below. Okay guys, well thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button and the notification bell for all of my future Wentworth related videos. And guys, whatever you're all doing this week, make sure you all stay safe out there, and I will see you all again very soon.